It's 8:30 a.m. and Boo is sitting here watching himself on the TV. So the other day I posted a 3-hour-long video of cats for cats to watch. And I just put it on for them. And they're really enjoying it.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, and Boo, the Lucky Ferals.
I would like to give a shout out to April, C.R. Barboni, Danielle Cuffroad, and Debbie Kirby. Thank you so much for your patronage this month and your generous support.
I wonder if Boo knows that's him on the screen. And I hope it doesn't give him a bigger head than he already has. Like, Boo already has a very big attitude. So I'm hoping this doesn't give him an even bigger attitude. And here's Stella. She's watching also. They're both engrossed in this video, so I'm really happy that they like it. I don't know where Splash and Simba are. That's what they're watching. Here's Simba. I just found Simba. Simba's sitting by the window, smelling the air. Right, Simba? This is Simba's favorite morning activity. How you doing, Simba? Simba, you looking fierce today? You feeling fierce today? He loves to smell the air. It is 4:51 p.m. right now, and Ditto is limping. It appears to be his front right paw, which also appears to be a bit swollen. See this paw right here? The paw appears to be fine. It's just the leg. His front right leg appears to be a little bit swollen. And so what happened was I came outside a little while ago, and as I was coming out the door, he was walking across the lawn, and I noticed he was limping. And I said, oh my gosh, what is going on? Ditto is limping. So I've been observing him, and other than limping, he seems perfectly fine. He's been eating dry food out of the feeder. He's been drinking water. He's been jumping up and down on the steps, and he has been rubbing all over Hydrox. And yeah, I mean, other than him limping on it and other than it appearing a little bit swollen, I'm not noticing him acting any different at all. We have to remember that when Boo was living outside, there were several occasions where he had a limp, similar to Dittos Limp, although I don't remember seeing a swollen leg, except for his last limp, which ended up bringing him inside. But the reason why it ended up bringing him inside was because Boo was in like a stupor. Like, he was moving in slow motion. He wasn't himself at all. And it ended up that he had an infection. Now, we don't know what's going on with Ditto yet. It could be a sprain. He could have jumped from a high location and sprained his arm. It could be from a bite, from a fight, or something like that. However, I can tell you I have not heard any animal fights at all. Normally when cats get in a fight, they're pretty vocal and you do hear it, and I haven't heard anything. However, if it did happen while I was away yesterday and the day before, then I wouldn't have heard it. However, I did see him earlier today and did not notice anything odd. I honestly think he did something today, because I think I would have noticed it earlier. It's pretty apparent. So he is going to be under observation right now, and if I notice anything, I will definitely try to take action. The easiest thing would be to lift him up and put him in a carrier and take him to a vet, but it's not easy because every time I try to pet him, he walks away from me. But what I have done is I have taken out this carrier. So this is the carrier that I used to get Boo to the vet, and I've used this carrier to get I think it was Simba to the vet that time, and I think Splash also went to the vet in this carrier. So It's a really easy carrier to use, and in the past what I've done is I've just kept it out here with the cats. Right now it does have a wee pad inside of it, but in the past I've kept it out here with the cats. And like when Stella and the kittens were living out here, Stella used to just go inside and just hang out. And the first time I took Simba to the vet, he literally just walked in by himself and he was hanging out in there. I just shut him in there and then off to the vet he went. So I'm putting it down here because this is where Ditto likes to hang out. Ditto likes to hang out here under where I have some solar panels. So best case scenario, absolute best case scenario, he goes in there, he makes himself comfortable, and all I have to do is shut the door, take him to a vet. Chances of that happening are slim, but it would be good for him to get familiar with this carrier. That's why I'm putting it here. You never know. You know, with cats, with feral cats, you kind of have to just take one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, especially with something like this. You really can't have too much of a plan because you really have to just be able to jump at every opportunity that presents itself. So he's just drinking water, and as you can see, he's limping. But then he walks normal for a little bit. So I honestly don't think it's broken. I think if it was broken, he wouldn't be moving so fast, moving so much. I think he'd be carrying it differently. So this is what I do with the cats when I want to give them some kind of herbal tinctures or some kind of medication. What I do is I give it to them in an appetizer before their meal. That way they should be good and hungry and eat whatever I give them with whatever treatment or remedy that is hidden in it. So right here I have a churu, which I've squeezed out into 2 portions here, and I'm going to add some drops to it. This is the tincture that I'm using. It's Heal All Herbal Blend Glycerin. This is from Dr. Morse's Cellular Botanicals, and this is an immunity boosting formula. So if Ditto does have an infection, this will help his body fight off that infection. So I put 3 drops in each one of these little portions. Okay, so this worked really well. I put this plate out with the 2 portions. Ditto went straight to the plate and he ate the side on the left. Right now Ditto's eating out of the dry food feeder. Okay, I just put some more food on the plate. I opened a can of the Performatrin chicken pate. I think they like that. I also scraped some of Boo's leftover breakfast onto the right side of the plate. And I did leave the churu on it. If Ditto does eat it, I think it's going to be fine. If he gets a double dose, it might be actually better for him, so we'll see. So one other thing that I have noticed is that Ditto is putting weight on the front paw, like when he goes up and down the steps. And I guess he doesn't like the food. So, or it could be that I'm sitting here, so let me go move inside. Maybe he'll come back and eat it. Okay, so he went back to the auto feeder and he's eating some dry food out of it. He's not having any mobility issues at all, which is good. I just want him to rest the leg. I want him to just go somewhere, you know, hang out by the side of the house where he's been hanging out and just rest his leg. That's what he needs to do. But I will be keeping an eye on him, and we'll see how it goes. In the meanwhile, I hope somebody eats the food that I put out for them. I'm starting to feel like they just don't like this Performatrin food for some reason. They used to love it, but, you know, cats go through phases. Okay, it's a few minutes later, and I just looked outside, and Ditto came back to the plate. And he's eating the leftover raw food from Boo, which is odd because he didn't want to eat the raw food that I put out for breakfast. But then again, cats are cats. It looks like he did lick up some of the other portion of the churu, yeah. And hopefully if he does have an infection in that arm, it'll definitely work to fight it. Alright, so he has a good appetite. That's a good sign. When cats are really sick, they don't like to eat. And he has plenty of places to hang out. One thing that I do want to do is I'm going to take one of the training pads out of the doghouse shelter, because I'm wondering if maybe that's why he doesn't want to go in it anymore, because there's like a crumpled up training pad in there. I'm trying to teach Ditto to sit the way that Grandma Farrell taught Boo to sit. Sit, Ditto, sit and stay. I need to teach him how to stay also. Stay, 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 stay. So I took the roof off of this doghouse shelter. That's what it looks like inside. And the training pad that was all bunched up in here was an absolute disgusting mess. I threw it out already. And here's the training pad that's wrapped around the heated mat. And as you can see, I don't know if, can you see that? So someone clawed a hole in it. So I'm going to take this training pad out and put a new one in there, and hopefully once it's nice and clean, maybe I'll put a little bit of catnip in there. Maybe that'll attract Ditto. I just want him to like go in here and like just rest for like days and just heal himself, because cats can heal themselves. They're really good at that. And yeah, so I'm just going to clean this up. One thing that is very helpful, there was like a Rose of Sharon hibiscus tree here that we took out. We moved to a different part of the yard, so it gives me a lot more space. And then this is where a few rose bushes were, and we also relocated the rose bushes, which again gives me a lot more space. Okay, I cleaned everything up. I put the new training pad in there. I wrapped it around the heated pet mat, which is still working. And this is the new gnome. Isn't he cute? He has squirrels. There's a squirrel in his hand and there's a squirrel in his hat, and Grandma Farrell thought he was very appropriate because he's like a gnome protector of the wildlife. So he's the new gnome here. I just sprinkled a little bit of catnip inside of this shelter, and then I also put a trail of catnip, just a little bit of trail catnip out here, which I'm pretty sure the wind has blown away, but I put the trail through here. And Ditto was hanging out on the driveway. The wisteria are in bloom. It is 7:25 p.m. and I just put more food out for Hydrox and Ditto a little while ago. And I took out my little training stool, the stool that I used to use outside with Boo and the other cats. I would just sit on the stool and be low to the ground with the cats. And I just did that. I sat out there for probably about 10 or 15 minutes, but Ditto walked away and he is sitting on the driveway right now. So hopefully he won't go too far. Hopefully he'll just stay in the yard. And yeah, hopefully he will just relax, get a lot of rest, and we'll see his legs start healing. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.